Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is Budget Meals Under $5. And this is hosted by Brenda at Maniac Grammy's Homestead. She lives in Maine. That's how she got her name. Go over and check her channel out. And she has so many wonderful gardening, cooking, crafting hauls. Whatever you like to do, you probably find it on her channel. And she's got that wonderful Maine accent. I love to hear that. Today, I have a couple of recipes I'm going to show you. Well, one of them I'm going to show you how I did it already, and one I'm going to make. This is under $5. We have a potluck this afternoon at our church. It's the Blast that I've been telling you about. It's a 6-week Bible study. They do one right after another, and I think they said we're going to have a missionary there from, I think he said Japan. That is, he's here on where they can raise their funds for the next time around, and he'll be there speaking to us today, and then we'll have our potluck. So the first thing I made this yesterday. This is my cake. My apple spice cake, and I'll tell you how I did it. I used this cake mix from Walmart, and it's a spice one. And, you know, I have my apples that's coming on, some of them, a lot of great, and they're so good. So I brought some of them in and cut them up and then chopped them fine and put them in the batter. And then I made a crumb topping, a little bit of flour, oatmeal, cinnamon, and brown sugar. I mixed that up and melted some butter in it and put that in a crumbly top. And then when that was done, on the hot cake, I drizzled some powdered sugar mixed up with a little bit of milk and a little bit of my vanilla powder that I had that one time from Walmart. So that's going to be my dessert I take tonight. If you've been with me very long, you remember this cookbook. It's the one from Fin and Feather in Oklahoma that I've been to. We go every other year. Now, we don't always go to this restaurant because we have so many things going on, but we've been here many times, and they have a wonderful buffet. And many years ago, I bought this cookbook. Really like it. I thought I'd like to take a side dish. And I was looking in my cupboards, and this didn't say whether they use fresh or canned, but I'm using canned. Here's a can of corn and a can of tomatoes. That's what's going to go in it. That's the main thing. And I'm going to get started on it and tell you what I do. I'm going to make it in my air fryer and use this dish. I've had these for years and years, and they're oven. You can make them in the oven, so I don't know why I can't do that. And that way I don't have to turn my oven on. I think my sister Sharon gave me this. Okay, large saucepan. I'm going to put butter, bell peppers. I have some in the freezer, and onions. And I'm going to just use the little minced one, and garlic, and I'm going to cook that just for a few. Here it goes. It calls for 1.5 cups of cheese, grated. So I wanted to show you how I do this salad shooter. I've had it for years. I'm going to put this cheese right in here. I got it in the top there. See right there? Now there you go. There's one little piece that didn't do. That one I get to eat. You know, it does take a little energy pushing this down. I mean, it's, you know, you have to put some pressure on it. What do you think? You think that's about a 1.5 cups? I'm going to say it is. I could put a little more if I decide I need to on the top. I will. Now we're going to move you again. I'm going for field trips here, guys. Bringing you over to the stove now. And I got you sitting up on a pan here now. Well, I'm going to put butter in it. was coming prepared, but I wasn't. They call for a fourth a cup. I'm not putting quite a fourth because I always put my food on a diet. I love that. And I am going to drain the corn in this little, and these bell peppers that I froze one day in there. I don't like the bell peppers and all these veggies. They'll be passing this one up. I'm going to go ahead and put, I do have onions, but somewhere, not fresh ones. I'll just pour a bunch of it in there. And then some garlic going. You see right there? I'm going to cook that just for a few. I'll hold it for a minute while I'm stirring fast. I like a little crunch in my bell peppers anyway, so I don't think I'll make them just really real soft. When you take food to a potluck, you know, the people, there's going to be some say, oh yeah, veggies. Okay, now I'm going to add some flour and then a little bit of salt, a little bit in there this time. Then I'm going to put the flour. Oh, and then it calls for the oregano. I think that's, and see, that's going to be really, I probably should have put more butter, but I can get it. I think I can do it, you guys. See? Real crumbly. It calls for 1/8 teaspoon of oregano. And I'm going to double the oregano. I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon instead of 1/8. I like oregano. And I think that's the main flavor of this dish besides the cheese. Now I'm going to slowly add that milk. I'm stirring it right here. Hopefully I won't have lumps in it. That wouldn't be too cool. I'm trying a new recipe. Who uses a wood spoon to cook with? Anybody? I like using a wood spoon. Thinking that's getting pretty smooth now. Thick. And then stir in 1/2 of a cup of the cheddar cheese. Add the tomatoes and the corn. And cook till hot. Okay, it's thick now. Wow, it might be too thick. I think I'm going to add just a drop of water. But you know what? I just remembered I have a little juice in tomatoes, so I think, what was I going to do next? Is that half? Probably a little more. Okay, cheese in. Now we're going to add these tomatoes. That's got to be good, you guys. I didn't put any pepper in it. I think I'll put some pepper. Now, it says cook till thick. It's pretty thick, you guys. And remember, it's going to bake. Oh yeah, one thing more. It calls for a little bit of sugar. 1/4 teaspoon, that's hardly any. Maybe 1/2 teaspoon, that's not very much. A little bit more salt, just a tad. Now that's why, if you can at all, I know my daughter-in-law doesn't like to taste her food when she's cooking. If you're there, she'll ask you to taste it. She cooks good, though, I'll tell you. And by the way, I do want to tell you, as I was looking in my refrigerator for my cheese, I thought of 2 channels that I want to mention right here. They're both great channels. And one of them is Mimi's Kitchen. I'll put the right, or Mimi's Place, I'll put it in right on the screen. And also my Mountain Home. They've been talking about cleaning their refrigerator out and prepping and all that. And I thought, oh, girls, you would just be so upset at me right now. I was upset at me. Okay, stay tuned. Whew, that's a little heavy. Okay, this is going to be nice. I'm holding a spoonful back for me. I won't be eating till about 5-ish. Let's make a nice side dish. Cheese always is better on everything. I think I might just put a little sprinkle of this oregano on top of it. Let it get a little greenish look to it. And it says to bake this for, and it didn't say anything about cover it or not, to bake it for 50 minutes. I'm going to start with 25 and go from there, because I am doing it in the air fryer on the bake cycle. This turned out really good. I'm sorry I forgot to put a picture here, and it turned out really good. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Come back for New to Me tomorrow. And remember, Jesus loves you. God